Right, now we move to different types of floats. How to calculate different types of floats. So total float we have seen, first one already. How to get total float? By comparing the LFT or LST, LFT minus LST, or you can take EFT, earliest start time and earliest finish time. If you want to calculate total float, how to calculate total float? What is total float? First of all, the maximum float in an activity which, if utilized, would not delay the completion of the project. Maximum this is, that is total idleness. Total float represents total idleness. Total of idle time. Which, if you utilize, will not delay the project completion time. So that is called as total float. So float means idle time. So total float means the total idle time which, if we utilize, doesn't affect our project duration. How you can calculate this is by comparing either the difference in finish times or the difference in start times. So latest start time, earliest start time, or latest finish time, earliest finish time. Either these two you can compare these two. Either of these two you can use to get this total float. Next one is free float. What exactly is free float is, out of the total float, okay, we have got total float. So out of that float, how many days if you utilize, how many days if you utilize will not affect your succeeding activity earliest start time. So part of your float which, if you utilize, doesn't affect your earliest start time of our next activity. So that is only called as a free float. So how logically one has to calculate free float is, now we know from in this diagram, see this diagram, in this path we know that there is a free total float available to 1 to 2, 2 to 4. In this 1 to 2, 2 to 4 we have a free float or not? Yes. But the thing is, 1 to 2 if you use that 7 days, how many days you have? 7 days float you have, no? In this, either you can use for 2 to 4 or 1 to 2, I told you already. But the thing is, if you use it for 1 to 2, what will happen? That will affect the earliest start time of 2 to 4 or not? Yes. So therefore 7 days cannot be utilized by 1 to 2, because the 7 days whatever you got already total float, okay, out of that 1 day also, if you utilize 1 to 2 activity extra time, if you utilize 1 day also, that is going to affect my 2 to 4 earliest start time, because it is 5 days only, no? Yes. Now again, let's see here also 1 to 4. If I delay 1 to 4 by, say here, what is the float available here? 8 days is available. So in this path 8 days is available. If you utilize out of that 8 days, 1 day, will it affect my next activity 4 to 5? No, it is not going to affect. See here, 1 to 4, actually the time required for this activity is 7 days only. But the next activity 4 to 5, earliest start time is 15 days. That means overall how many days are there? For 1 to 4, start time is 0. Next activity will start at 15 days, after 15 days. That means overall 15 days are there. And this activity requires 7 days. That means what is the float available there? 8 days. So if you utilize those 8 days, will it affect your next activity earliest start time? No, it is not going to affect. So that means that is called as free float. I hope you understood that. Free float, yes. So part of your total float, which if you utilize, is not going to affect my succeeding activity earliest start time. So 1 to 4 for 1 to 4 activity you can use that extra 8 days. It is not going to impact your next activity. But here whatever 7 days you got in this 1 to 2, 2 to 4, I've got 7 days time now individually. Either for this one we can use 7 days, or for this one also we can use 7 days. So here 1 to 2 we cannot utilize 7 days because it is going to affect your 2 to 4 activity. So if you feel that 2 to 4 is very important activity, it has to be started always at the earliest start time only, then you cannot afford to delay the first 1 to 2 activity. So for that analysis only it is useful. Which one? Free float. So free float will tell us whether by utilizing the float available, will it impact my next activity or not. That is what I can understand from free float. So there is a shortcut to calculate this free float. So what exactly is free float? The amount of delay out of the total float if you utilize, which does not affect your succeeding activity earliest start time. So that is what is being written here. It is the amount of delay in an activity which if utilized would not affect the succeeding activity or the earliest start time of the succeeding activity. So how to logically I have explained just now earlier. 1 to 4 I have taken example. 1 to 4, 4 to 5 I have shown you there. So what is the earliest start time of 4 to 5? 15 days. That means what is the earliest start time of 1 to 4 activities? 0 days. So overall how much time is available? 15 days is available. What is the activity time 1 to 4? 7. 7 if you remove, so what is the float? 8 days is a float. Now can you, if you utilize this 8 days, will it affect your next activity? No. Earliest start time of next activity? No, it will not affect. So that is called as your free float. So how to get this, in a quick manner, shortcut. What is the shortcut for this is free float. Total float minus slack of head event. See, slack of head event, this is the event, head event for 1 to 4, this is the head event. Here you should compare slack of what? E value and L value. See, L value represents latest finish time always of previous activity, no, and earliest start time is of the next activity. So if there is any difference between these two, that always shows the float. So from total float, if you remove that float, if still extra is there, that only you should take it as the free float. So what is the formula is total float minus slack of the head event. This also will give you same answer only 8. So let's take now 1 to 4, what is the total float? 8 days minus what is the slack of head event? What is the head event? 4. At 4 both E value and L value are same, 15 only. So slack is 0. So 8 minus 0, 8. So we are getting 8 only. With shortcut formula also we are getting 8. So tell me what is the formula, shortcut formula to calculate this free float. I hope logically you understood what is free float. 1 to 2 does not have that free float. Even though it has float, 7 days it can utilize. But the thing is, it is going to affect 2 to 4 activity. So nowhere else you will find in this diagram now, nowhere else you find now free floats. The reason is only in this direction. First, only here there is a possibility. 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 1 to 7. Here only you have possibility of floats. Remaining, nowhere you have floats, because the remaining all are critical activities only. Now next one is, so total float we completed, even free float also we completed. Next one, interfering float. Yes, this is also very important. What is interfering float is the float which if consumed will surely affect the start of succeeding activity. If you utilize earlier one free float, what is the difference between free float and interfering float? Free float, if you utilize, it will affect what? Start, isn't it? So what will not affect the start, that only we will consider as free float. What will not affect? What will affect, we will take it as interfering float. So which activity had interfering float? Earlier in the diagram I told you that even though 1 to 2 had 7 days of total float, But we understood that the 7 days, if you take extra time for 1 to 2, that will affect 2 to 4 start time, no? So that means this 7 we can call it as interfering float, because if you use that 7 days, that is going to affect your 2 to 4. So that is called as interfering float. That 7 days you had opportunity for 1 to 2, but the thing is, if you utilize that 1 to 2 total float, that is going to affect my 2 to 4. So that 7 days we can call it as interfering float. And what about 1 to 4? 1 to 4 also had 8 days, no? 8 days if you utilize, that is not going to affect my what? Succeeding activity. So interfering float is 0 for this. Completely it is free float only. 8 days is completely free float. 8 days whatever float is there, completely free float only, because it is not going to affect my succeeding activity. But for 1 to 7 days is, the total float 7 days is not the free float, because it is going to, if you utilize 1 day also, it is going to affect your 2 to 4 activity. I hope you understood the difference here. So interfering and free float, logically I hope you understood this. I am referring to the same example only, this diagram only I am taking. I was saying that 1 to 4 had 8 days of float. If you utilize that 8 days, it is not going to affect my earliest start time of 4 to 5. Is it affecting? No, because 7 days if you wait and then 8 days you can be idle, then complete by 7 days, still 4 to 5 can start on time. So that means that 8 days if you utilize will not affect. So that is free float. For this 1 to 4 there is no interfering float. But what about 1 to 2? 1 to 2 also had a float 7 days. But if that is utilized, that will affect my 2 to 4 or not. That 7 days I can call it as interfering float. It doesn't have any free float. That 7 days is not a free float, that is interfering float. I hope you understood the logic now. So there is a shortcut for this also. Even for interfering float also there is a shortcut. What is the shortcut? Is slack of head event directly. How we get that is, see here logically. Interfering float, how you can get is from total float, if you remove free float, you will get interfering float. That is what we are discussing. From total float, if you remove free float will not affect next one. Remaining is interfering float. So total float minus free float. How do you get free float? Already earlier formula, total float minus slack of head event. So this one will get cancelled. Ultimately you have slack of head event. Shortcut. Either from total float you remove the free float, you will get interfering float. So total float minus interfering float, or just take the slack of head event, just slack of head event. Okay, quickly if you see now, how do you get total float? By comparing either change in finish times, latest finish time, earliest finish time, or by comparing change in start times also. What is that? Latest start time minus earliest start time. This is how you can get total float. Next one, free float. Free float is equal to, how do you get free float? Is total float minus slack of head event. This is how you can get free float. Then interfering float is equal to total float minus free float, or directly slack of head event. This is interfering float. So logically I hope you understood this. Now next one is last one. This is independent float. Independent, right? Independent means what? If you utilize the float of this activity, it is not going to affect my previous activity and even succeeding activity. That kind of float we call it as independent float. See here, the float in an activity which if utilized will neither affect the latest finish time of preceding activity, LFT of preceding, which is nothing but L value or E value of the succeeding activity. See, always in our event, E represents succeeding activity earliest start time, L represents previous activity finish time. No, so it should not affect if you utilize that float, that should not affect your previous activity finishing time, latest finish time, and earliest start time of my succeeding activity. Both should not get affected if you utilize that float. That type of float is called as independent float. So that means obviously our activity for which we are trying to calculate independent float should fall between two activities or not, then only independent float will come. Yes or no? Yes. So remember, definition you remember easily, you can understand this. So in our diagram, I am taking one such activity where it is falling between two activities. Let us take 2 to 4 activity. From our diagram only I am taking this. So 1 to 2 activity, 2 to 4, 4 to 5. Okay. Now I want independent float. Already we know that 2 to 4 has got 7 days time float. 1 to 2 has got total float. Even 2 to 4 also got 7 days. Either of these activities can be delayed by 7 days. Now what is the earliest start time of 4 to 5 activities? 15 days. Okay, now I want to calculate independent float. First of all, you know 2 to 4 has got 7 days of float or not? Yes. If I utilize that 7 days, will it affect my latest finish time of 1 to 2? Yes. The reason is, if you look at 2 at 2 E value, earliest start time and latest finish time is 12 days. Go and check the diagram. Now, what is my latest finish time of 1 to 2? 12 days. Earliest start time 5 days. So 2 to 4 earliest start time is 5 days. Latest finish time is 15 days. Latest finish time is 15 days. Now for 2 to 4 I have extra 7 days or not? Float. So tell me now, if I utilize 7 days, what will happen? Will it affect my earliest start time of 4 to 5? So this activity will start earliest start time 5 days. Okay, this will start by 15 days. Okay, so now if I utilize that extra 7 days, will it affect my earliest start time? No, because if you start by 5, okay, then if you take 7 days, 7 plus 5, 12, so it is not affecting. But that if you take that time, will it affect your latest finish time of 1 to 2 activity? If you utilize here 7 days for 2 to 4, will it affect your previous activity? Yes, it will affect. Why? If you are 2 to 4, or if you are utilizing 7 days, 1 to 2 cannot be delayed by 7 days. 1 to 2 has to be completed within 5 days only, no? Because that 7 days can be utilized either for 1 to 2 you can utilize. In this direction you have only 7 days, no? In this path you have only 7 days of what you call idleness. So that you can use it for either 1 to 2, delaying 1 to 2 or 2 to 4. But the thing is, if you utilize it for 2 to 4, that will not affect the succeeding activity, but it will affect the 1 to 2. 1 to 2 cannot be delayed beyond 5 days. So that means the 7 days whatever is there for 2 to 4 is not an independent float. That 7 days whatever we have got total float for 2 to 4 is not an independent float. The reason is, if you utilize that, that will affect my latest finish time of which one? 1 to 2. 1 to 2 latest finish time is 12 days. Okay. So It will affect my previous activity, latest finish time, not earliest finish time, latest. And but it will not affect my succeeding. But one condition is failed. Now what is that? My previous activity, latest finish time will get affected if you utilize this 7 days here. So therefore 7 is not an independent float. So for this independent float is 0. Which one has an independent float? Only 1 to 4 has got independent float. Why? 1 to 4 extra 8 days is there, no total float. If you utilize that, it will not affect 4 to 5 or it will not affect even 1 to 4 also. Nowhere else you will find independent float. I hope logically you understood. That means independent means what? If I utilize that float, it should not affect my latest finish time of previous activity and earliest start time of succeeding activity. So that type of float we call it as independent float. So how to calculate that independent float here? Formula is the shortcut formula. This is, so logically even I have explained here. So if you see in this 1 to 2 and 2 to 4, 4 to 5, earliest start time of 4 is 15. So time available is, how many days available here? 15 days earliest start time here. Latest finish time of 1 to 2 is 12. That means how many days available here? 3 days is only available. And what is the duration here? 3 days only. So that means independent float is 0 here. That is what I was telling. Latest finish time of 1 to 2. And earliest start time of 4 to 5 is 15. So you have only 3 days time. And even duration is also 3 days. That means independent float is 0. That's what I was telling you logical. So how to calculate this is shortcut. From free float, remove slack of tail event. Tail event. For this 2 to 4, if you want to calculate tail event slack L minus E difference, that if you remove from free float, you will get independent. So free float minus slack of tail event. Tail event means starting event, the difference between L value and E value. Free float minus slack of tail event. This is a shortcut for independent float. And logically, if you have seen everything, critical activities of float is 0. Everything is 0. For all the critical path activities, total float, free float, independent float, interfering float, everything will be 0 only. Always. Even slack of tail event is also 0. Always. For critical paths I am talking about. All the activities in the critical path. So what is the trick you can follow in the exam is, for all critical activities you can take all 0, 0, 0, 0 only. Only for non-critical activities only you should calculate this total float, free float, interfering float and independent float. So, and always for critical path event L is equal to E. Right? So I hope all the formulas you remember for calculating. What are those? Quickly, independent float, how do you get? Independent float is equal to free float minus slack of tail event. Tail you should check, because why tail? Latest finish time of previous activity should not get affected. No, that is the reason. And free float, when you are calculating, take the slack of head event, because that we should not affect your succeeding activity. So independent float is free float minus slack of tail event. This is independent float. Next one, how do you get free float? Free float is equal to total float minus slack of head event. The slack of head you should take, because it should not affect your succeeding. Then interfering float. Total float minus free float. That's it. You should remember these three. So for each activity already we know duration. For each activity we know the duration. Earliest start time, E value, L value we know. EFT, LST already we calculated. Total float, free float, independent float, interfering float and independent float. Everything is calculated. How do you get free float? Total float minus slack of head event. See, slack of head event means here what is the head event? 2 is the head event. So at 2 what is the slack we should take? At 2 what is the slack? 12 minus 5, 7. So this is the slack of head event. You can take first this one on independent interfering float. Shortcut is slack of head event only now. So head event is 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 6. What you do is first you take interfering float, better, because we want slack of head event now. Then you can calculate free float. How do you get free float? Total float minus slack of head event you can use. 7 minus 7, 0. 0 minus 0, 0. 8 minus 0, 8. 7 minus 0, 7. Next, last one is independent float. How do you get independent float? Free float minus slack of tail you should check. Slack of tail event. Tail means this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slack at these points you should take. Slack at tail events. Already we know slack at head events, some of them. So slack at tail events also you should carry. Slack means what? Difference between L value and E value. L minus E value. Shortcut trick I told you, for all critical activities. What are the critical activities? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 1, 2, 3. For this everything is 0 only. What everything means? Total float, free float, interfering float, independent float, everything is 0. You can check this here. 1, 2, 3, you can see everything is 0 only here. Then 3 to 4, everything is 0. 4 to 5 also everything is 0. So 5 to 6 in examination blindly you can take 0, 0, 0 for all this. Only for non-critical 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 1 to 4. Only for these three you should calculate what? This total float, free float, interfering and independent float. So that is your forward and backward calculations and different floats. Very important for coming exam. Now next important question for this coming attempt is crashing. Crashing of a project. That means how to reduce the project duration. Now if you want to reduce the project duration here, there should be a purpose for that. Yes, because unless there is some advantage in doing that, never you will try to reduce the project duration, because it is going to affect the quality of the project. No, because already you planned. Now if you want to reduce that, if you want to do it again earlier than the planned one, so maybe it is going to affect your quality, or you might require some extra resources. If you want to maintain the quality, then you require what? Extra labor. So why do you want to reduce your project time here in spite of knowing that? Because there is some advantage, right? So that is what you should remember. So what is the meaning of crashing is, crashing means completing the project earlier than its estimated duration. In order to reduce duration of a project, we shall crash critical activities. So we know that critical activities are the most important activities. So if you reduce them, then only project duration will get reduced. Otherwise project duration will not get reduced. So as I told you, if benefits are greater than cost, if project duration is reduced till a stage where benefits are greater than costs. So if you reduce to a point where your savings are more than the cost, what will be the savings if you reduce the time? One is overheads. Which one will get saved is your overheads. If you work for less number of days, what will happen is your overheads will decrease. That is one saving. If you complete earlier than the target time, probably you might get some incentives from your customers. That is also one of the savings. So as long as the savings are more than the cost, and what are the costs for reducing the time? Extra cost you will incur, no. So as long as your benefits are more than cost, to that point if you reduce, that is called as optimum duration. Satisfying this condition, if you crash and whatever time you get, that is called as optimum duration. Now you might ask, sir, can we go beyond that also? Beyond that means what? Even though your savings are, benefits are less than cost, still can we go further? There is no benefit in that. But if you want to still do it, yes, we can do it. Because sometimes there might be an urgency in completing the projects also due to some unforeseen circumstances. So in that case, whatever duration we get, we call that as minimum duration. If project duration is reduced till a stage where benefits is greater than cost, it is called as optimum duration, and the cost for optimum duration is known as minimum cost. So optimum duration cost is called as minimum cost. If project has reduced further beyond optimum duration, it is possible only by incurring extra cost till the exhausting limits. So till the crash time is achieved, till that time you can say, for example, if an activity is, see here, 1 to 2 activity normal time is 4. Maximum you can reduce this to 3. So till it gets reduced to 3, we can crash, even though cost is more than your savings. So if project has reduced further beyond optimum duration, it is possible only by incurring extra costs. So here benefits is less than cost till the exhausting limits, that is crash time. The duration achieved by fulfilling this called minimum duration. So without considering the savings incremental benefit, if you further crash, the duration what you achieve is called as minimum duration, not optimum duration. So they're crashing two types of durations they can ask. One is optimum duration, the other one is minimum duration. So optimum duration and its associated cost they will ask. Other one is minimum duration and its associated cost. So here just now we are discussing about savings and costs. Remember that savings will be in the form of overheads, indirect costs. Benefits will be in the form of, benefits is in the form of savings. That is, overheads will get saved or the incentives given by your customers. And what is the cost? The extra resources whatever we are going to spend to complete earlier than the normal time. So let us do a problem now to understand crashing. See this question now, everyone. Example. So these are the activities 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 2 to 3, 2 to 5, 3 to 5, 4 to 5. This is the normal time. First expected time this is. Now this can be reduced to maximum this only. See, 1 to 2 activity can be reduced to 3 days. Normal time is 4 days, but it can be reduced to 3 days. And what is the normal cost for 4 days is 600. Now for 3 days, it is going up to 800. So don't think that, sir, why if reduced it is going up, because extra resources are required now to reduce. So to reduce the activity duration by 1 day, you are incurring extra cost of 200. That is what we can understand there. Here 1, 2, 3 activity, normal time is 2 days, crash time is also 2 days. That means there is no possibility to reduce this activity beyond normal time. That is what we can understand. No change in your cost. Normal cost, crash cost would remain same. 1 to 4 normal time is 5 days. It can be reduced to maximum how many days? 4 days. So by 1 day you can reduce. And what is the cost, extra cost you are incurring? 150 rupees is the extra cost you are incurring. Similarly 2 to 3 also you can see it can be reduced to 5 days. So 2 days you can reduce. For that, what is the extra cost? 200 is the extra cost for 2 days. Reduction in 2 days. Similarly here 1 day 200 extra, 1 day 150 extra, 1 day 250 extra. And indirect cost per day of the project is every day is 200 indirect cost, overheads. So if you save 1 day, you can save this indirect cost of 200 rupees per day or not? Yes. So now what is asked in this question is, first you should draw the network diagram, then what is the normal duration, cost of the project you should calculate. Okay, first always these things they will ask. Then optimum duration, the cost of the project, minimum duration and its associated cost. What is optimum duration? If you crash the project till a stage where your savings are more than the cost, that is called as optimum duration, and the cost relating to that is called as minimum cost. But if you go beyond that, beyond optimum duration, if you reduce, even though your savings are lesser than costs, so to the maximum limits, if you crash, the duration whatever you achieve, you call it as minimum duration. So crashing optimum duration, minimum duration. That is what you can understand. So you can see optimum duration, the other one is minimum duration. Optimum duration means savings or benefits is greater than cost. Minimum duration means after optimum duration, if a project can be crashed further even at some extra cost, that is called as minimum duration. So first network diagram we should draw for this. 1 2 3 1 1 2 2 1 2 3 1 2 4 are starting, they are starting parallelly here. Okay, roughly if you see 1 2 2 1 2 3 1 2 4, so 4 I will put middle line, I will keep 3, this is 2, then 1 2 4, then you have 2 to 3, then 2 to 5, 3 to 5, then 4 to 5. This is our network diagram. And you should list out the normal time here. 4, 1 to 2 is 4, 1 to 3 is 2, this one is 1 to 4 is 5, 2 to 3 is 7, 2 to 5 is 7, 3 to 5 is 2, 4 to 5 is 5. This is your normal duration for each activity. Now critical path we should find out now. How many paths you have? All paths you should list out and find out highest path duration only. We'll take it as the normal duration. And what is the cost of the project means whatever is the project duration. Okay, this is 4050, this is your normal cost. To that we should also add which one? Indirect cost also we should have. This is only normal cost now. Normal cost is like direct cost. So to that we should also add indirect cost. See here, this is the diagram. These are the three parts. How many parts? 4 parts we are getting. 1 to 2, 2 to 5, 1 to 2, 2 to 5. This is one path, 1 to 2, 2 to 5. What is the time required? 4 plus 7, 11. Next, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 5. For this, what is the time required? 13 days. Next one is 1 to 3, 3 to 5. 4 days are required. Next one is 1 to 4, 4 to 5. 10 days are required. So out of this, what is the highest? 13 days. So this is your critical path. So what is the normal duration of the project? 13 days. Normal duration is 13 days. Now if you want to calculate normal cost, first you take the direct cost given in the question, the total. Plus every day you will incur overheads. Now how much? 200. So 13 into 200 is 2600. So 6650 is the normal cost for the normal duration. Now our crashing will start. So if you want to crash, first what is the criteria is savings you should compare with cost. So for that you should calculate what is the cost per day saved first, which we call it as crash cost slope. This is the first thing you should calculate. Whenever you are doing crashing problems, you should calculate crash cost slope. What is crash cost slope is? For 1 day saved, what is the extra cost? This is called as a slope. the change in cost divided by change in time. So if you see for the first activity, what is the extra cost? 200 for 1 day only, decrease in 1 day only we are incurring. So 1 day, what is the extra cost? 200. So change in cost divided by change in time. That is how you get this cost slope. For every activity you should calculate this. Okay. So done. This is the first step in crashing. You should calculate the crash cost slope. For every activity, what is the increase in cost per 1 day saved. That is what crash cost slope meaning is, interpretation. Okay. Then what you should do is list out all the critical activities. What are the critical activities? You will know what is the critical path: 1 to 2, 2 3, 2 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 5. So these are the three critical activities. For those three critical activities, what is the cost slope? 1 to 2, 200, then 2 to 3, 100. Why I am taking only specifically only these three? Because you can reduce your project duration only on concentrating which one? Critical activities only. Non-critical activities, even if you reduce also, project duration will not get decreased. So you should concentrate on only these three activities: 1 to 2, 2 to 3 and 3 to 5. Out of this also, which one is having least cost? So in the order of least cost only we should crash. So 2 to 3 is having least cost 100 rupees. And 1 day if you save, what is the indirect cost you are saving? 200 rupees. So your savings is greater than your cost or not? If you select 2 to 3. Yes, your savings 200 is greater than 100. So which one we should crash first? Which activity we should reduce first? 2 to 3 first we should reduce. So we will start the process of crashing now. First, now we are having only single critical path now. The crashing will be different for a single critical path and multiple critical paths. So here all the paths we have listed, out of this only one we got critical path with 13 days. Multiple means if you have multiple paths having same 13, then we will have multiple paths. Here we have only one single critical path. So whenever you are having only one single critical path, what you have to do is directly you can compare which one? The least cost slope activity cost you can compare with indirect cost saved. So here if you see least cost activities 2 to 3, 100. And so what we can do is this you can compare with the savings. What is the savings? 200. So now what we can do is we can crash this 2 to 3 activity by 1 day you can crash. If you crash by 1 day, what is the extra cost you will incur? 100 rupees is the outflow. Okay. So what will happen now? If you crash by 1 day, what you have to do is you have to go to the diagram now. Go to the diagram. Whichever you crashed, 1 to 2, which one you crashed here? Which activity you crashed? 2 to 3 we crashed by 1 day. So what we should do is wherever in whichever path 2 to 3 is there. First path 2 to 3 is not there. Second path 2 to 3 is there. So this 13 will become 12 now because 1 day we reduced now here. In this path it is not there. In this also it is not there. So now we revised is this 11, 12, 4, 10. Still this path is only the critical path. Still single critical path only you have. So we can use the same activities now. So that means same we can use previous one only, that is least one is what? 2 to 3 only still. If you see 2 to 3, this is 2 to 3. What is the time required? Which one we crashed earlier? Crash activity 2 to 3 by 1 day. 2 to 3, not 1 to 3, 2 to 3. I was showing you 1 to 3. 2 to 3 means this one. 2 to 3, what is the time? 7 days. Now you are crashing that by 1 day means that will become 6. So in the diagram first you cut it. In the diagram first you reduce it. 6 it will become. Okay. So what is the maximum time you can reduce to 5 days? What is the scope available? 2 days is available now. So one more day you can crash this one. already one day we crashed this activity. Now maximum we can up to 5 days we can crash now, so that means 2 days available. So one more time we can crash. So 2 to 3 one more day we can crash. Crash activity 2 to 3 by 1 day. So outflow will be 100. So after crashing this, what will happen is 2 to 3 by 1 more day if you crash. So this will become 11. And remaining no change, same as it is 11, 4, 10. Now what happened is, now this one is also a critical path, even this one is also a critical path. Now you are getting two critical paths, multiple critical paths we are getting. What we are getting? Multiple critical paths. So whenever you have single critical path, directly by comparing this cost, least cost slope activity you can take, compare with savings, okay, and then based on that you can crash it to the maximum possible, okay, time, crash time, you can crash it. So 7 minus 5, 2 days you can crash maximum, 2 to 3, that we have done it. After crashing that, now what happened is, two paths are having same project duration. So that is the reason you should update even here also. When you are writing the answer, after network diagram, list out the paths, their duration, and leave some space also here, so that you can rewrite the durations, revised durations. So after crashing first time, second time crashing 11, 2 paths are getting. So now we have multiple paths. This one is also critical path, this one is also critical path. So when you have multiple paths, what we are supposed to do? We should create a set of activities in such a manner that set of activities, both, we have two critical paths now. So what we should do is, we should ensure that we should select activities in such a manner that in both the paths, that activity will get reduced. Slowly you understand now. Here this is most important. Multiple, when you get, what you are supposed to do. So now after crashing 2 to 3 by 2 days, we are getting multiple critical paths. What are those? 1 to 2, 2 to 5, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 5. So two critical paths we are getting. How many? 2 we are getting. So whenever you have two multiple critical paths, so this is one path, this one duration is 11, 11. Now how to select the activities is, you should create first sets. First I am creating set A. If I select 1 to 2 here, automatically even in this path also 1 to 2 we have or not? Yes. So you should find for that kind of activities where it is there commonly in both the paths. So 1 to 2 if you select here, set A, automatically in this also it will get what? Crashed, no? So with one time automatically even this path, it is getting reduced or not, because it is there commonly in both the paths. So what is the cost? 1 to 2 if you want to crash, what is the cost of that is? 200 is the cost. 1 to 2 is 200. And what is the indirect cost savings if we reduce by 1 day? 200. So by reducing here, both are same, cost is equal to what? Savings. There is no benefit of crashing here. Okay, next one more set is, so once you crash 1 to 2, okay, at least this condition is satisfied now, as long as your savings is greater than or equal to cost. So this set can be utilized because it is equal to your cost. Savings 200 is equal to cost also 200. What we can do is, we can crash now 1 to 2 by 1 day. 1 to 2 rather than 1 to 2, you can use the name set A. Okay, then what will happen again? 1 to 2, if you in this 1 to 2 you have, in this also 1 to 2 you have. So 11 will get reduced by 1, even this also will get reduced by 1. So now 10, 10, and one more also already earlier, if you see the list of paths, one more path 1 to 4, 4 to 5 is also having 10 days. So what is happening is, now 3 3 you are getting. This one got reduced to 10, this one also got reduced to 10, 4 is same, this one is same 10. So now 3 paths you are having same duration. 3 multiple paths you have. So here also what we are supposed to do is set of sets we should create in such a manner that the activity whatever you are crashing you should select in such a manner that in all the 3 paths you have that activity, so that one activity if you reduce by one day, automatically in all the paths it will get reduced. Such kind of activities you should select first if there is any possibility. So these are the 3 revised critical paths now: 1 to 2, 2 to 5, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 5, 1 to 4, 4 to 5. These are the durations of these paths. Now let us select the sets. 1 to 2 in this it is there, in this path it is there, in this path also it is there, but in this path it is not there. Okay. So that cannot be selected. Next, what about 2 to 5? 2 to 5 is there in the first path, in the second path it is not there, even in third path also it is not there. Okay. And what about can you see any activity common in all these 3? Nothing is there. Okay, so that condition we are unable to satisfy. Then what we should do is, next thing is different activities you can select. Now I am creating that set because common I am unable to find. So which one I can find here is 2 to 5 here, 2 to 5, 3 to 5, 1 to 4. This is one set. For this set, what is the cost I am incurring is 500 rupees. See, you can create multiple sets. No problem, you can create multiple sets here. But always you should look for those activities which are common in all the 3 paths. That is the first condition you should satisfy. So, set A. What is the first set here taken here? Already 2 to 5. Can I create this set? 1 to 2 if I take, automatically it is there, but it is not there in third, this one. Okay, so that combination is not possible there, that set. So if you take 1 to 2 here, 1 to 2 here also it will get one more, you can take 1 to 4. You can create that set. What is the cost for this set? 1 to 2, what is the cost by one day? 200. And what about 1 to 4? 1 to 4, 150. So 200 plus 150, 350. For this set you are getting 350 cost. 350 cost you are getting, and what is the, how many days you are crashing here? How many days you are crashing in the project duration? Only 1 day now here. So indirect cost saved is only 1 day here. One day only we are reducing, no? Okay, so what is the indirect cost saved is 200 only. So there is no possibility of further reduction here actually, because the costs are greater than the savings. Because 1 to 2, 1 to 4 if you crash, the cost is 350, and what is the crash time is only 1 day. Even though 1 to 2, 1 to 4 you are crashing, but that is in separate paths now. Overall your project duration is getting reduced by 1 to 2, 1 to 4 if you crash. What will happen? In this 1 to 2 is there, this will become what? 9. This also will become 9. This also will become what? 9. So that means overall your project is getting reduced by 1 day only. Yes or no? Yes, that means 1 day saving only is happening. So you should take 1 day savings only. Don't take 2 days savings. Only 1 day you can save. So in this set, if you see again 350 is the cost, but savings is only 200. Similarly, 2 other sets are created here. What are those? 2 to 5, 2 to 5, 3 to 5, and 1 to 4. This is one set created. One more, and what is the cost of this is 500. Separate no, all this individually. 500 you are getting. 200, 225, 200, 325, 150, 124, 150, total 500. Another set I created here, 225, 325 and 425. See why we did not consider this set is, see here, 122, 124. This set also you can consider, no problem. This set also you can consider. Another one is 122. Automatically it will get, even in second one also, no, 1 to 2 if you take. Then other one is 4 to 5. This also we can select. After this you can go with what? 2 to 5. 2 to 5 if you go, then you cannot take 1 to 2 here, that combination. Why? 1 to 2 if you take again, first path also 1 to 2 will get crashed, no. So you cannot take here 1 to 2. You cannot take this. Because 1 to 2 if you take even in first path also it will get crashed. What you can do is another we can take 3 to 5 you can take. 4 to 5 also you can take. This is one path. This is one set. So that is what is created here. Set A, what is the total cost is 500. Set B also one more created. 2 to 5, 3 to 5 and 4 to 5. 600 you are getting. So you can create combination of sets here. Whenever you have multiple paths, what you should do? Combinations you should create, sets. Okay, first preference is try to find one activity which is common in all the paths. What is the advantage in taking that? With one day only in all paths will get reduced or not? Yes. If you have that kind of activities, you find them. If those are not there, then what you can do is you can create combination of sets, combination of activities in the form of sets. Then sets you can crash. So here if you see set A1 created 2 to 5, 3 to 5 and 1 to 4. This is one set. Okay, another one is 2 to 5, 3 to 5 and 4 to 5. What about 2 to 5, 2 to 3? Yes, that also you can create. This is set C. What about set D? This also you create, no problem. Set D, what you can take is 2 to 5, 2 to 3, 2 to 3, 1 to 4 you can take. This is also one set. But what is the cost for this? You have to check here. Okay, so 2 to 5, what is the cost here? 2 to 5, 200. 2 to 5, 200. 2 to 3, so 200. 2 to 3 is 100. 1 to 4 is 150. So total for 550 you are getting. With this set what we are getting? 550 I am getting with this set. 550. What about set C? We are getting 350. 1 to 2 if you take, automatically in second one also 1 to 2 getting crashed, and 1 to 4 if you select here. So how much you are getting? 1 to 2. 1 to 2 is 200. 200 and 1 to 4 is 150. 350 here. This is the cost here. So like this you can create different sets, but the thing is, what is common is all the cost is greater than the savings. Everything you are able to save by one day only. So 200 is the savings. So that means what? There is no benefit in crashing further here. So for optimum duration, further crashing is not advisable, because our cost, whatever we are getting for these sets, are more than the savings, indirect costs. Already I told you 200 only we should consider, because only one day we are able to save for the entire project. So whatever we got earlier by crashing 2 to 3 by 2 days, that itself is our optimum duration. That was 11 days only our optimum duration. Beyond that, if you crash also, there is no advantage. But the thing is, in the question, minimum duration is also asked, no? Yes. So optimum duration is, what is the optimal duration here? 10 days is only optimal duration. So in this question, what is the optimal duration? 10 days. I hope multiple paths you people understood. So whenever you have multiple paths, what you are supposed to do? In order to decide which activity to be crashed, prepare set of activities in such a manner that simultaneously all paths gets reduced by duration of the activity. So how we should select the activities is, if you select an activity, that should be common in all the paths, such that with one day only all paths will get what? Reduced. That is the strategy you should follow when you have multiple critical paths. But here in this question, whatever we have taken, one more question is asked, minimum duration. So that means beyond that also you can crash. Before we go to minimum duration, for optimum duration only, let us calculate the cost. So what is the optimum duration? 10 days. First we should take the normal cost. Normal cost will not change. Proportionately never take. So whatever given 4050 in the original question, always normal cost will remain same. Only thing is indirect costs you can take according to the days. Per day it is 200 now. So 10 into 200, 2000. Plus, now because for crashing 2 to 3 we crashed no. By how many times 2 to 3 we crashed? Two to three we crashed by how many days? 2 days. One time. So this is 100 outflow, and then multiple paths also. Set A we crashed 1 to 2. Common is it is common in both the paths. So 200. So this set, that is 1 to 2 also by 1 day. Outflow is 200. So 100, 100, 200. Overall 3 outflows. 400 is the crashing cost, this additional cost. We are incurring this to reduce the project duration. So 100, 2 to 3, 2 times we crashed, and then 1 to 2 in multiple case we crashed. So 200, 400. So 6450 is the minimum cost. Okay. Part 4, what they have asked in the question is minimum duration. Minimum duration means after optimum duration, still we can further crash, but we don't have any advantage. So now what you can do is, we can use these sets. 500, 600 we have, 550, 350, 550 we have. So now don't forget 1 to 2 already we crashed no, in the previous one. 1 to 2 we crashed by how many days? 1 day we crashed. Here go back and check 1 to 2. Actually why that set is not taken here is, 1 to 2 set, why that combination is not taken here is, the reason for that is, prior to this three critical activities, we had 2 critical activities now. So there 1 to 2 we have crashed now by 1 day. Actually what is the maximum crash time of 1 to 2? Only 1 day. So that means further crashing of 1 to 2 is not possible. See the question, 1 to 2 normal time is 4, crash time is 3. So 1 day if you crash, that means over now, there is no further possibility of crashing. So that is a reason that combination is not selected here. in the answer, why I did not select that combination here is because 1 to 2 here I am talking about after 3 critical activities. Why we did not select 1 to 2? Because 1 to 2 already crashed completely. You cannot utilize 1 to 2 again. That is the reason we did not create any set here. Only possible sets are these two sets. That is 2 to 5, 2 to 3, 2 to 3. What about 2 to 3? 2 to 3 is also completely crashed. Already 2 days we crashed. No, 2 days was this. So 2 to 3 is also gone. So that is the reason with red mark what you can do is, I used a red mark here now. So if you put red mark here, that means what? Those are not available for crashing, completely crashed. So 2 to 3 also you cannot use here. 1 to 4 you can use. So that is the reason 2 to 5, 3 to 5, 1 to 4 is used. Another combination is 2 to 5, 3 to 5, 4 to 5 also we can use. So 1 to 2, 2 to 3 is not available because already prior to this only completely crashed. So for this set you created, no? Remember that even though individually activity wise you are crashing by 1 day, but overall project will get reduced by 1 day only. Saving will be 1 day, but cost will be 3 times for these 3 activities. So 200 for 2 to 5, 3 to 5 150, 1 to 4 150. So total cost is 500 and indirect cost saved 1 day only, no, 200. For this set, for this combination it is 600. So out of these two also, which one you can prefer now to achieve minimum duration? You can prefer this one because you have least cost now. So now what you do is crash this set A by 1 day. Crashing set A by 1 day. What will be the outflow for this set? 500. So now you should go to the diagram and crash all these again. Which one? 2 to 5, 3 to 5 and 1 to 4. 2 to 5. So 2 to 5 is also completely crashed now. Over. 6 days, 1 day only scope was there. 2 to 5 is done. 3 to 5 is also done. 3 to 5, 1 day. Only 1 day you had opportunity there. 1 to 4. 1 to 4. 1 to 4 also only 1 day. Gone. So 1 to 4, 1 to 2, 2 to 5 and 3 to 5, 1 to 4 all got crashed. There is no further possibility of crashing now. Okay. For optimum duration, further crashing, that is done here. We crashed which one? Only set A we crashed. After crashing the set A now, all activities got crashed. There is no possibility of further crashing only. All activities to the maximum we crashed. What are those activities? 1 to 2. Everything, if you see, everything got crashed now. 1 to 2 is over. 2 to 3 is already over. Prior to that only. 2 to 5 is also over. 2 to 5 is also over, 1 to 3 is also over. So every activity to the maximum we crashed. So after that further crashing is not possible. Even if you want to crash also, no possibility there. That is what written here. Further crashing is not possible. Why? At least one of the CPs has been fully crashed. So in our critical paths, the critical activities all got what? Crashed. So there is no further possibility of crashing. So after crashing by further 1 day, earlier it was 10, no, prior to this it was 10. By 1 day if you crash, now it will become 9. So that 9 days is called as minimum duration. Okay. And now associated cost, how to calculate? Normal cost is 4050 only. Indirect cost saved is 9 into 200, 1800. Additional crashing cost is, additional crashing cost for this is, first one, what is the first one? That is single, when we had single critical path, 2 to 3 by how many? 2, 100, 100. Then set A 200, 100, 100, 200, 400. Then here set A here 500, 400 plus 500, 900 total. So what is the total extra cost? 900. So 6,750 is the cost associated with this minimum duration. Done. So what are the steps for crashing? Let's summarize now. These are the steps for crashing. Steps for crashing. First one is you should calculate what is the extra cost per 1 day saved. Crash cost slope. Change in cost. How do you get change in cost? Crash cost minus normal cost. That is how you get what? Change in cost. How do you get change in time? Normal time minus crash time. This is how you will get crash cost slope, because cost is the criteria for us to crash the activities. This is the first one. You should calculate crash cost slope for each activity. Then you should draw the network diagram and identify the critical path. You should draw the network diagram, identify which one is critical path. If you have only one single critical path, then what you are supposed to do? If you have multiple critical paths, then what you are supposed to do? The procedure will change. Single critical path and multiple critical path. Only one path if you have single critical path. More than one path you have multiple. If you have single critical path, what you have to do is select the activity with least cost slope. In order to decide which activity to be crashed in that critical path, single critical path, which activity to be crashed, what is the criteria is, you have to compare the savings with cost for each activity. Compare the savings with what? Cost. So the activity with highest savings shall be crashed first. So this is the criteria we applied in our example also. Say for example your savings per day is 200, cost is 100. So least cost, so maximum savings you are getting or not. So whichever activity if you crash by 1 day will give you more savings, that activity first you should crash. Okay, what you should compare? Cost you should compare with savings. So whichever activity is giving you more savings by crashing, that you should crash. The activity with highest savings shall be crashed first. So repeat above steps. Same steps we will repeat till completely it is crashed. Then next one we will prefer. But after, better always you go by one day. My advice is whenever you are crashing, always go by one day only. Better, no problem. Even though if it takes time, one day you take, because what will happen is sometimes the critical paths might be more than one also. After one, if you crash one, no, then it become multiple. So sometimes what students will do is at a time they will crash all, which is wrong. So what you do is one day you crash. Then what happens is sometimes after crashing one day, it might become multiple critical paths. So my advice to the students is one day you can crash. So if you get single critical path, this is a procedure. If you get multiple critical paths, what you are supposed to do? You have to create a set of activities in such a manner that one activity if you crash in all the critical paths, it should get crashed. Like that you should create. In order to decide which activity to be crashed, prepare a set of activities in such a manner that simultaneously all paths gets reduced by duration of activity. So in all the paths, common activity that you should find out. If it is possible, take that only. If that is not there, then take different activities in each path. One day. Then see the condition again. Cost of that set compare with the savings per day. If requirement is optimum duration in the question, then crashing shall be done till a point where savings is greater than or equal to cost. If optimum duration is asked. If requirement is minimum duration, crashing will be continued till a stage where one of the critical path gets fully crashed. In our critical path, one is fully crashed. Till that time you can keep on crashing. For crashing purpose, follow least cost criteria. Yes, this is the criteria what we should follow. Okay, so there is another question here. I have given here for your practice purpose this question. So for this solution also I have given here. So you can use this for your practice purpose. Anyhow, I am going to share this document. So this example you can share for crashing concept. Okay, now quickly we will move to updation. Most of the students may not be aware of this updating of network diagram. Updating of network diagram, very important for December. What is this updating is? The network diagram is updated under the following situations. That is, whenever there is a change in specifications or whenever uncertain incident happens during the execution. So updating generally happens, this is part of your controlling, project controlling. After commencement of the project, these things will happen. So sometimes there might be change in specifications, or sometimes there might be some unforeseen incidents, or sometimes you might fall short of resources also. So in that case we have to revise now. Yes. So these are the reasons why you need to update your network diagram. After the start of the project, if there is a requirement of updation, first what you need to do is, then at first we need to classify the activities into 3 categories. After starting of the project, what you need to do is, if there is an updation, first you classify the activities, whatever activities are there, into 3 categories. What are those activities? Activities already completed first. Activities which are already completed. Activities in progress. Activities in progress, that means started. Completed, started, not yet completed, that is in progress. Another one is not at all started. So what you need to do is, you need to classify your activities into these 3 categories. Activities which are already completed, activities which are in progress, other one is activities not yet started. So these are the 3 classifications. If activity is already completed, you cannot do anything, no updation is possible for them, so they cannot be updated. But activities in progress, this is activities which are in progress. For this, how to calculate a revised duration is, how to calculate revised duration for this is, work already done plus whatever is the work required to be done, revised, okay, that you should consider. Okay, see example here to understand this, how to calculate this revised duration. Now 2 to 5, 5 to 6 activity. Okay, now 2 to 5 requires 6 days time and 5 to 6 requires 3 days time. Earliest start time of 2 to is 11, assuming that they started it after 11 days only. So after 13 days, now 13 days are over. 13 days are over means already 2 to 5 is started, no? 2 to 5 started and already 2 days are also over. After that, there is a revision. After that, what is revised is, activity 2 to 5 will require 9 more days. 9 more days after starting the project and after completing the activity by 2 days. What they are saying is 9 more days are required. So 2 plus extra 9, both if you add, how many you are getting? 11 days you are getting. So that means what is the revised duration of this activity 11 days is the revised duration. So activity 2 to 5 will require 9 more days. Revised duration of activity 2 to 5. What is the revised duration of 2 to 5? Question mark. So how to do that is, we need to classify, and already activity 2 to 5 is in progress now. It is in progress. First you should consider what is the work already done. For how many days already work has been done. Assuming that earliest start time you started. So 13 days they said no. And 2 to 5 they might have started after 11 days. So 13 minus 11. So already 2 days gone. Since you started 2 to 5 activity, 2 days completed. Now they are saying extra 9 days are required. Work required to be done is 9. So these two if you add, you will get what is the revised duration of 2 to 5. So this is how you should do updation for activities which are in progress. Activities not yet started, if there is any revision in duration, new duration only directly you can take. Here one important thing is, we should assume that always the activities are started on EST, earliest start time only they are starting when you are doing updation. Here also we assume that 2 to 5 started at the earliest start time only. So this is what exactly is updation, my dear students. After updation of each activity as above, we find revised critical path and revised project duration. So once you complete updation, then you have to revise, you will get revised critical path and revised project duration. So this is the most important for December 25, updating the network diagram. So there is one question, MTP December 2017. You see here, a company has planned its operations as follows. So this was original duration. Draw the network and find the critical path. So network diagram is drawn. For this, you have to draw the network diagram, and then you should find out what is the critical path. After 15 days of working, the following progress is noted. What happened here? After 15 days of working, the following progress is noted. Activities 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4 completed as per original schedule. So this comes under completed activities. What are the completed activities? 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4. As per original schedule only they are completed. Activity 2 to 4 is in progress and will be completed in 4 more days. 2 to 4 is in progress, already started. 2 to 4, what is the earliest start time we have to see? 2 to 4. Okay, already 4 days are over. They are saying that it will be completed in 4 more days. So whatever number of days completed already 2 to 4 plus this 4 we should add to get the revised duration of 2 to 4. In progress, which are the activities in progress? 2 to 4 in progress. Activity 3 to 6 also in progress only. This will need 17 more days to complete. More. The staff at activity 3 to 6 are specialized. They are specialized 3 to 6. They are directed to complete 3 to 6 and undertake an activity 6 to 7, which will require 7 days. This rearrangement arose due to a modification in a specification. So due to a modification in specification, what happened is, there is a slight modification done here, rearrangement. What is that rearrangement? Activity, the staff in activity 3 to 6, whoever is doing this activity 3 to 6, they are specialized. So what you are doing is, they are directed to complete 3 to 6 and undertake activity 6 to 7, which will require 7 days. So they will be used to even complete which one? 6 to 7 also. Which one? 6 to 7. New one is created, which will require how many days? 7 days. So a new activity has come. So this also you should consider here. A new activity has come up. Then activity 6 to 8 will be completed in 4 days. Activity 6 to 8 will be completed in 4 days instead of originally planned 7 days. So 6 to 8 is not yet completed, no. Directly in place of 7, what you should keep? 4 you should keep. There is no changes in other activities. So remaining as usual. Update the network diagram after 15 days of the start of the work. after 15 days of the start of the work based on the assumption giving above. Indicate the revised critical path along with their duration. So revised critical path and revised duration of the project you should calculate. This is what you are supposed to do. This is only updation. So first what you should do is, first you should draw the network diagram. Okay, then get the critical path and what is its duration. Okay, so that means here we require earliest start time. We require EST or not? Yes. So I will quickly show you the solution here. For this, so updation, this is the updation question. So first, this is the original network diagram. So highest path, all the paths listed here, highest is 42. So critical path is 42 days. Now what is the revised duration now? Which activities they are talking about now? Which activities? 2 to 4 in progress, 3 to 6 also in progress. Revised 2 to 4, 3 to 6. Okay, and what is the preceding activity? Now what we should do is, what is the revised duration of these activities we should find out. 2 to 4 and 3 to 6. Revised duration we should find out. Now already project has started. After 15 days we are doing this updation. No? So what is the 2 to 4 preceding activity for 2 to 4? What is the preceding activity for 2 to 4? 1 to 2. You can see for 1 to 2 is a preceding activity. For 1 to 2, how much duration required? 7. For 1 to 2, what is the time required? 7 days are required. But already 15 days are completed, no? So you completed 7 days already. Okay. So what you can do is here, first of all, they said already 15 days are over and they require extra 4 days. That you add, you are getting 19 days. Okay. And you know that this activity is started and you require 7 days. Previous activity 1 to 2 started. For this 7 days is required. So 2 to 4, what is the earliest start time now? 7 days. So from 19, if you remove 7, you are getting 12 days. So that is the revised duration of 2 to 4. I hope you understood this. How we got this logically is 2 to 4 revised duration we should calculate. Already 15 days are over. 2 to 4, now if you assume that 2 to 4 is starting at the earliest start time. What is the earliest start time of 2 to 4? Assuming that 1 to 2 has been completed within the duration. What is the duration of 1 to 2? 7 days. 7 days is the earliest. So 2 to 4 started. Assuming on 7 days, 15 days are over. That means 8 days are over already. 15 means 8 days completed. Remaining how many are there? You started at 17, 15 days are over, so 8 days are over. They are saying extra 4 is required. Extra 4 is required. So that means 12 days is the revised duration, because already 7 plus 8 is equal to 15 exactly. So on 15th day, already by the time you 2 to 4 you started or not? So how many days are done already with 2 to 4? 7 days are completed already. Okay, now they are saying extra, how many days are completed? Not 7 days, 8 days. Why? Because 1 to 2 will take how many days? 7 days. Now 15 days means already 2 to 4 you completed 8 days or not? Yes. They are saying extra 4 is required. So 12 days will be your revised. Similarly, tell me now 3 to 4 what this 3 to 6 is in progress and will need 17 more days to complete. 3 to 6. So what is the previous activity before 3 to 6? 1 to 3. 1 to 3. Yes. 1 to 3 requires how many days here? 8 days. 3 to 6. 1 to 3 requires how many days? 8 days. So that means what is the earliest start time for 3 to 6? 8 days. Now it is 15 days completed. That means 3 to 6 already how many days are completed? 7 days are completed already. They are saying extra how many days are required? 17 days are required. Okay, so 7 plus 17, so revised is 24. So that is what is, so you can see 24. I did not use this logic here. Simple logic I applied there. So 24 is a revised duration. See, already 8 days are over, extra 17 plus I have added. In that manner also you can revise the durations. I hope you understood. So 2 to 4, 3 to 6, you take completed time already, extra time you add it. Okay, to get the completed time, you should assume that this activity started exactly on EST, earliest start time only it started. Now next one is, what else they have given? 3 to 6 activity people have shifted to another activity, new activity started. What is the new activity? 6 to 7. What is the duration for that? 7. So new activities, that is 6 to 7. 6 to 7 new activity this is. So this is new activity. For this how many days are required? 7 days are required. And 6 to 8 instead of 4 days you should take 7 days. That's it. That is the update. So based on this revised duration, now what you should do, this is a revised duration for these activities. 2 to 4, 3 to 6 and 6 to 8. Now what you should do is, you should revise your network diagram and get the revised critical path. This is your revised network diagram. Get the paths. Out of that, highest is 47. So this is the critical path. That's it. Over. So it's a very simple problem. Only thing is how you should calculate revised duration of the activities which are in progress. Already completed plus extra you should add. That is how you get revised duration, and then again you should draw the revised network diagram, then get the revised critical path and revised duration. Okay, this you will find in CMA material also. Same question. The same question is there in CMA material also. So that's it. That is your updation concept. So what just we completed is updation of network diagram. So for this you should classify the activities into 3 categories: activities already completed, activities in progress, and activities not yet started. So these are the 3 classifications you should consider. And then already completed you cannot update, which are in progress take already completed time plus extra time, you will get the revised duration. Not yet started, directly revised durations only you can take. Then again your critical path will get revised. So practice this question. You have an institute material, CMA institute material, this question. Okay, one question you will find for updation. Practice that question. So this is the question what I am expecting for this attempt. The next part in this is PERT, program evaluation and review technique. So this is for new projects with high uncertainty, we use this technique. PERT we will apply for new projects. So any project for the first time if you are doing, for that we can use PERT. So what is the problem here is, there is an uncertainty involved. So whenever there is an uncertainty, what we need to do, we need to take estimated durations. So this whole concept now we have to cover. So in the next video I will be covering this particular PERT technique. Thank you.